Chapter 37 The Catacombs of Saint Sebastian. In his whole life, perhaps, Franz had never before experienced so sudden an impression, so rapid a transition from gaiety to sadness, as in this moment. It seemed as though Rome, under the magic breath of some demon of the night, had suddenly changed into a vast tomb. By a chance, which added yet more to the intensity of the darkness, the moon, which was on the wane, did not rise until 11 o'clock, and the streets which the young man traversed were plunged in the deepest obscurity. The distance was short, and at the end of 10 minutes his carriage, or rather the Count's, stopped before the Hôtel de Londres. Dinner was waiting, but as Albert had told him that he should not return so soon, Franz sat down without him. Signor Pastrini, who had been accustomed to see them dine together, inquired to the cause of his absence. But Franz merely replied that Albert had received on the previous evening an invitation which he had accepted. The sudden extinction of the moccoletti, the darkness which had replaced the light, and the silence which had succeeded the turmoil, had left in Franz's mind a certain depression which was not free from uneasiness. He therefore dined very silently, in spite of the officious attention of his host, who presented himself 2 or 3 times to inquire if he wanted anything. Franz resolved to wait for Albert as late as possible. He ordered the carriage, therefore, for 11 o'clock, desiring Signor Pastrini to inform him the moment that Albert returned to the hotel. At 11 o'clock, Albert had not come back. Franz dressed himself and went out, telling his host that he was going to pass the night at the Duke of Bracciano's. The house of the Duke of Bracciano is one of the most delightful in Rome. The Duchess, one of the last heiresses to the Colonnas, does its honors with the most consummate grace, and thus their fetes have a European celebrity. Welcome to Chapter 37. I've said that 37 times already? Wow. We are flying by in this book. Simultaneously seems like a long time and not much time at all. We have a bit of a transitory passage today, picking up mostly where we left off with the end of Carnival. Franz experiencing a sort of, how would we describe it? God, if I was more literary, I would have better words for this, but that feeling you get after a lot of energy, a lot of maybe positive energy, like a party, or you go to a concert or a ball game. Let's just stick with the concert, because I'm going to be going to the Rilo Kiley reunion in a few days here, where you're on the high, the euphoria that is so different from your normal everyday circumstances. High energy, lots of stimulation, and then you get in the car, and it's just like an extra quiet that almost comes with a solemnness to it. Franz is almost basking in this. It seems like, to me at least, another character, another type of character might actually go out and seek to continue that feeling. How many people have you known in your life after a night out want to go and find the next thing that night, not wanting the night to end? Well, let's just get a nightcap here, and that turns into 2-3 more drinks. Suddenly it's 2 or 3 in the morning, and you're like, my God, I got to get up early tomorrow. How can you do this every night of your life? Seems like Albert is making progress with his lady of, I was going to say lady of the night. That's not accurate. But this little flirtatious fling that he has going, presumably, maybe I shouldn't. At 11 o'clock, Albert had not come back. Is that a line that packs some foreboding into it? Desiring Signor Pastrini to inform him the moment that Albert returned to the hotel. At 11 o'clock, Albert had not come back. Franz resolved to wait for Albert as late as possible. Sorry, I'm just picking out lines here to wonder if I should be of any concern. I don't think there's any reason to. Not yet, at least. It seems, though, that Franz is on his way to this ball at the Duke of Bracciano's, and yet the name of the chapter is The Catacombs of Saint Sebastian. It seems like we're in store for a little diversion from the game plan, if I had to guess. Or does the Duke hold his balls in the catacombs? Note to self, don't use the term hold your balls. Excited to see where we will be going in Chapter 37, now that I feel pretty firmly on the path of just following Franz and Albert through their little trip to Italy here, we have so much book, obviously it's going to have to pivot away from that at some point. But now I'm like, okay, fine. I feel like I started a whole new book where I'm following Franz and Albert. So excited to see what's going to happen with these young lads on their sojourn in Italy. Here's a little just behind the scenes podcasting stuff for you all, since I have you here on the first of the chapter. First, I think it's been about a month since I've recorded. I did a huge backlog of these. I had a number of things in my life coming up that I just needed to get ahead of so that I didn't miss the daily publishing. Some of them were expected. A lot of them were not. I had a bit of a health crisis with my kitty cat, and that was really trying to go through. Not going to bring you into all of that, but suffice it to say, I got kind of nervous about revisiting. I think I said this on Odyssey if you listen to both shows, but like I have this weird, it's not a hesitation, but it's just like this, oh God, I gotta get back into the story. Sorry, that sounded a little bit like I was dreading it, which I'm not, but I'm nervous for some reason. I can't quite put my finger on why. And so I've been dragging my feet a little bit, procrastinating. You're listening to this. Usually I have about 20 episodes in the backlog. Tomorrow is going to be published yesterday's episode. God, wrap your head around that. I only have 2 episodes in the can right now. They will finish publishing on Monday. And you're listening to this on Tuesday. So needed to light a fire under my ass to get back on the mic. Why am I telling you all of this? Right, yeah. I want to just pose a question to you all. I know we just finished out, or about to finish out, Supporter Month. And I hate to make this kind of question to you all in the midst of trying to give stuff back to you rather than ask if we can take something away. If you are listening to this on YouTube, I would love if you left a comment somewhere to let me know what level of value this has for you. The YouTube channels have been adding a significant amount of overhead and time with a kind of diminishing capacity that I have with something else going on in my life. So I'm trying to evaluate what I should be giving my time and attention to. I would absolutely hate to remove something that even one person found of value. But I'm at a point right now, just very temporarily, where I need to free up some time, and being able to publish these daily just on the traditional podcatchers would save me a lot of time. Now, that's not to say that I would close down the YouTube channel entirely, but it would be something like taking a month or so off and then publishing a bunch of episodes at once rather than daily, so that there doesn't become a divergence from where we are on the YouTube channel versus where we are on the podcatchers, because then that creates a whole new headache of trying to coordinate what goes where at what time. So all of that to say, I would love to know how much you use and value the YouTube channel. I'm not making the decision right away. I think I will at least publish the last of this chapter before making any decision. So if you can let me know by the end of chapter 37, that would really, really help me. And speaking of the rest of chapter 37, let us continue here tomorrow with a little bit more of what Franz and Albert are getting up to. All right, until then, okay, goodbye. The Countdown of Monte Cristo is part of the Gruntwork Podcast Network. This show is produced, edited, and hosted by Landon Solano. The original text of The Countdown of Monte Cristo by Alexandre Dumas. Theme song by Magic Solo. If you want to support the show and others like it, visit patreon.com/patreon.com. Thank you for listening.